engines. Doing everything go on the topsoil, they were compacted, and therefore they were used to drive pressure machines, circular saws, and pumps. Didn't get rid of horses, you needed the horses to bring the water and the fuel to the engines, often in remote fields. Father was a world-renowned engineer. In fact, 150 of his steam diggers built the Suez Canal from further into Bettops in 1856. And if you ever fly across, it's remarkably straight. 1959-60, one of these general purpose engines for £250 or so. They're virtually scrap value. But gradually the restoration program began and people began realising that heritage wasn't necessarily a thing of the past. Now you see a field like this which we engine has a history. It was taken to New Zealand to work, they didn't look after it, and it was found 10 years ago in a dry riverbed in New Zealand. Mr. Gainsborough heard about it, got it over to this country, him and a group of friends, restored that McLaren, put in Leeds, and it's on the way now. That's mixed bag. Evelyn and Porter Roller, this is Aisha, 1925. Evelyn and Porter built 8,000 of these steam engines, half went for export. The last steamroller was built in 1950 by Armstrong Vickers, and that went new to Argentina. The rumour was they never paid for it. And now Mr. Summerscales from North Lincolnshire. Another Aveling and Porter. See the brass horse on the front? That's Skippy.
Yeah.
Done all right. I'll have to knock the house down to get it through, like.
Big weapon.
made. The first Sherman's engine was built in 1889, that was Monarch, built by Burrell, and the last one, a Fowler, built in 1934. So you can see the lifespan of the Sherman's engine wasn't that great. It is thought that only 1,000 were built as Sherman's engines. A lot were converted, especially after the First World War, where people would buy a general purpose engine, the gearing and the boiler, and then put a Sherman's body on the top. Cheaper than buying a new one. White Rose, 1915. Opening importer Derek Rayner of York. Seeing a lot of Aveling and Porters, but they were also built by Marshall and Fowler and Wallace and Stevens. But Aveling and Porter by far those which have lasted the course better than others. Another Fowler ploughing engine, you've heard the history of that first one. Here it is again, there's another one, same job. This is called Yaroslava. Interesting tale where the name comes from. Something to do with an East European lady. Owned by a gentleman farmer, Robert Goodwill, from Terrington. Those who know these things probably recognise Mr. Goodwill as the former MP for Scarborough and Whitby, now retired. Don't blame him. Sensible steam wagon going through there, built in Shrewsbury. Started production in Glasgow in 1917, but moved in 1919 to Shropshire and adopted the Henry Ford production line system of manufacture. The trouble with these steam wagons, they can only go 30 miles or so without filling up with water. They're absolutely useless to go down the A1. Mr. Stafford with our Sentinel there, built in 1937. Eventually these machines could go over 50 miles an hour. But as I say, they're heavy on water. And what really killed them, in 1928, the government introduced an axle weight tax. meant they had to pay an enormous amount of money to put them on the road, and many of them didn't bother. They're in here with a Squire of Tom, with an Aveling and Porter. Built in 1916, the colours of North Riding County Council. Gregor, little Showman tractor there, work for County Council. And now the oldest engine on the show field. This is Richard Hornsgreen's of Sir John Williams, 1888 machine now, owned by Matt and Joe Moore. Good afternoon, Joe. I don't forget you, Steve. Foden steam wagon built in Sandbach in Cheshire. This sort of engine caused a breakup of the Foden factory because Mr. Foden and his son decided their future was his diesel wagons. The firm didn't agree, so the son and father broke away to build engines. Edwin Reginald Foden, ERF, still see them today. Little door, 1928 Fowler. Noah's Ark, what was that? 2 lions, 2 tigers, 2 giraffes or whatever, they're engine 2x2. Fowler with a history, you could call it checkered, certainly call it interesting. This is the Iron Duke. It was built in 1920. It was repatriated from German amusement park in 2004. Between 2004 and 2020 it was rebuilt. And the German writing on the canopy, well, I'm sure you know it, it's the old Berlin steam horse carousel. The Hardy family from Selby there, with a machine rescued from Germany in 2004. Interesting little machine now. This is a Wallace and Stevens, built in Basingstoke, 1904, Sir Allerton of York, and this worked in London, and it used to rescue horse carriages which were stuck in the mud or whatever in London, where the roads were absolutely appalling. So that one was an early AA system, Pickford number 14. Lady Olivia, 1907 Old Ship, built in Northampton, one of only 6 working in the world. And behind it, Lady Anne, 1906 Old Ship. Mark Ellis up first with those 2 Old Ships. So if you see two together, that's pretty rare for these machines. Splendid machines, those Allchins. And amazing, we've got a miniature Allchin in the arena as well. You can see some of our big steamers have got tow bars behind them. All will become evident shortly. A Burrell built in Thetford in Norfolk. This is the Maori. Went to New